Welcome to this video. Look, we got another special one for you. I've been interviewing a lot of men, but I know some of the ladies is like, well, what about the ladies? Are there ladies out here that's doing it big too? I want to introduce you to none other than and I said the V Doctor. Let me introduce the V Doctor. How are you today?
Hey, I am wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
I'm incredible. I'm incredible. And thank you for making the time. I know you're busy. I know you got a lot going on, and I appreciate you for making the time. We won't waste none of your time. Now, the first thing is we always like to start off by showing the numbers that you made in your first year of business. A lot of people think that, it's not possible. And we always like to start off by showing what did you do in your first year of business? If you could show them, then, we can move on from there.
Absolutely. This is my first year was real special, and I'm gonna tell y'all why after I show these numbers. But you one sec. So this is, I don't know if you guys can see that, if it's clear. How clear is that? Is that clear on your end?
It's not too clear.
Oh, give me a second. Yeah,
Okay.
not too
1
much.
million. Hey, say less. That's all we need to see.
We had 1 million over a little bit over 400,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Just about. Now those dates, if you can't even see those dates, that says January 1st through December 31st,
Okay.
2021. That was my first year.
Wow. Wow. So
We
you hit
1.5.
1.4 million in your first year of business. We gotta tackle that. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was the first year. That was the first year.
So let me ask you this. Like, I mean, what is your background? Like, what made you choose e-commerce over any other thing else?
I did it the traditional way. I did it the way everybody told us to do it. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure y'all know what that is. What mama say, go to school, get a good education so you can get a good job. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
did. So I went to school. In fact, I went all the way through medical school thinking, yeah, I'm going to be a doctor and I'm going to be making big bucks. But that was not my truth. Once
Mm-hmm.
I graduated, I was working my tail off. Like, do you hear me? We're talking 12 to 16-hour days. And I had a six-figure income. Yes, that part is true. But I also had a six-figure debt to match because believe me, school wasn't free.
Mm-hmm.
That part. So I wasn't winning. I was literally still check to check, just like everybody else. Like, dang, I need a side gig. That's how serious it was. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was I knew like this wasn't the way. I'm like, how are these people rich? Like I'm doing the top of the top. You thinking doctors, lawyers, and I'm like, and still. So I was looking for a way out. I was looking for something, and it found me.
Mm-hmm.
It found me.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Now, that is crazy. And I'm glad that you said that because a lot of people go that route. They say, okay, go to job, go to work, go to school, do all of these things. And then you end up finding e-commerce. Now, between the time that you went to school and choosing e-commerce, was that a hard decision for you? I mean, was it something that you had to, like, were you nervous at all?
It's crazy. I'm gonna say not really, simply because, like I said, I was looking for something. I
Mm-hmm.
was so thirsty. I needed a way out. Like, I'm at the time I was divorced, so now I'm a single mom. My son had autism, and I barely could be there for him, missing all the therapy, missing all the appointments because I got to work to make a way. And I'm like, this just cannot be my life. This is not what I signed up for. And I'm like trying to figure out what was missing or how can I make it better. So when I did discover something, my mindset was there because I was ready for something different.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was in reading my books, on entrepreneurship, how to make money, the Robert Kiyosaki's, all of that. And so I was looking for it.
Wow. So you were ready. So it was an easy transition to go from school to e-commerce. Now, a lot of people like to think that, when you start business, just because you say, I'm about to start business and I'm about to do great, that everything just happens like that quickly. What were one or two things that you would say, you know, or let's say two of the biggest lessons that you've learned that, you know, now you would have done it way different when you started?
I would have started sooner. Like I said, a lot of people go, you know, first of all, I just lost my train of thought, but I definitely would have started sooner. Like I said, I spent all these years going to school, following that system, and I was mad once I learned that there was another way, an easier way, and a quicker way. So, you know, I'm 10 years in now because I went through high school, then I went through college, then I went through med school, and was 10 years in. Had I did that same 10 years, I made a million and a half my first year. But I spent 10 years in school and was still broke. You hear me? Make that make sense. So I would have started sooner. Don't wait. You don't need to wait. It ain't no such thing as the right time. The right time will never come if you wait for it.
Wow. Now that right there, I feel like that was one of the biggest things because a lot of people do feel or wait for the right time. Now, you went to school, you end up doing e-commerce, you learned a few lessons along the way. Now, did you start doing this on your own, or did you start dealing with a mentor or a course, or how did you go about it? So people know the right way to go about it.
Definitely not something you want to do, you know, by yourself. It's a self journey because, you know, they say at the top it's lonely. It's only a few up there, but it's not a journey you want to take alone. I definitely had a mentor because I didn't know what I was doing, you know, and these people already made the mistakes. So you certainly want to find yourself somebody that's already doing it. You know, there is a system to success. So it's not necessarily any type of key to success. There's no magic. There's none of that. It's a system. The blueprint is laid literally like breadcrumbs. And if you follow it thoroughly, don't be trying to, I'm going to do something different. No, follow the system and it'll get you there. And so, yeah, that's what I did. I linked up with a mentor that had what I wanted. Way too often we listen and follow people that don't even got what we want. Like, I don't want your lifestyle. Why am I listening to you? Like, at all.
You just said it.
That part.
You just said it. I mean, it makes no sense to deal with somebody that don't have what you want. So you found somebody that had what you wanted, you invested and you learned, and 1 year later, you made $1.5 million. Now, first of all, that's incredible. Again, and I'm going to keep saying that because it's not common that a lot of people go and do that kind of thing. Now, what motivates you to keep going? Because, I mean, a transition from school to e-commerce, that's a total different way of thinking, you know, and being able to deal with the stress, being able to deal with the things that come with business. What are a few things that motivates you to keep going?
Well, you know what? Both of my parents were addicted to drugs when I was younger. So I grew up in an environment that wasn't the best. You know, it was gang violence. I'm from the city of Chicago, you know, so it is what it is. My grandparents stepped in, thank God for grandparents, and they raised me. And then I started a family of my own, and that didn't work out the way that I wanted it to work out. However, I ended up with a beautiful son. And like I said, my baby has autism. And by me trying to seeing that I can't be there for him because I got a boss, I got somebody telling me I got to be at work at this time, I can't leave, I can't go to field trips, I can't be at the therapy appointments. It was literally making me sick. So you got to have something outside of yourself, right? If it was just me, I'd probably still be working. But every little thing that I do, like seriously, I really think about my kid. My bank account is named after him. It's literally called Mikey's Money. It's not even my money. Like everything I do, my trust is what does Mikey want? It's named after him. When I open my notebook, I write at the top his name. You know what I mean? Because literally, like, I'm doing everything for him to provide the best possible things for him. So if you find something outside of yourself, because we don't really do stuff for ourselves. When I get in the car, I drive right. If my baby in the car, I'm driving Miss Daisy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we love ourselves. We like to think we love ourselves, and we do. But if you find something outside of yourself, that's literally where your power comes from.
Hmm. Hmm. I know a lot. I mean, that family aspect is bigger than life. I mean, because when I look down at, I used to go in my daughter's room and my kid's room and just look at them and be like, "There's no way I can tell them no, or there's no way I cannot provide for them." You know, so that right there, that's a huge thing that, you know, attach a reason to why you're doing what you're doing, and that'll keep you being able to go. And you heard that from the V doctor. You heard that from the V doctor. Now, what advice would you give a person, let's say someone that's also in school, someone that wants to start a business, they don't know where to start, they don't know what to do. What give them three things that you would do if you had to start all over?
Oh, that's a really good question. Like I said, the first thing I would do is get with somebody that knows what they're doing or
Mm-hmm.
knows at least how to do it or has what you want.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first thing. And these people, like, like even if you're on social media and you're following somebody, don't be scared to DM these people. Jump in their inbox. I promise you, if you got to jump in 4, 5, 6, 10, it don't matter. Somebody will respond, right? And a lot of times, if these people you follow, your mentors, it's not going to be friends. It's not going to be family. That's too often we look for them to be the ones. They're
Right.
not going to be the ones to make you rich. No.
Right.
So get yourself a new team if you have to, if you will.
Okay.
You feel me? You know what they say, if you're the smartest one in your circle, it's time to get a new,
It's time to change.
it's time to change.
Change.
Um, that would be the first thing. Another thing would be don't be afraid to take risks. You
Mm-hmm.
know, rich people take risks. Um, everything doesn't work all the time, but when it works, it works. And hard work works.
Mm-hmm.
So, I wouldn't be, skeptical or afraid to take the big risk, especially if, like I said, you got a mentor that's telling you and you're following the steps, you see the system, it works. So take risks,
Mm-hmm.
take risk on yourself. That would be the second thing. The third thing would be, um, for me, I suffered from anxiety and depression. And on days that I did not feel like getting up out the bed, I just did it anyways. So
Mm-hmm.
I coined this term, do it anyways. Like, so at the end of the sentence, when I say something, I'm tired, do it anyways. I don't feel good, do it anyways. Um, I have to do X, Y, and Z. I would do it anyways. So at some point in time, like I made a schedule for myself. So the things that I need to get done, they're going to get done anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So once you get that in your mind, do it anyways. It's like, above all, whatever it is you're going through, this has to get done. Do it anyways.
Mm-hmm. I hope y'all listening, man, because you're not talking to somebody that work at McDonald's. You're listening to somebody that did it, made the choice first, took the steps, went through the process, and got the result. Now, one last question that I have for you, and I feel like this is a very, very good question because when I started in business, I was so confused about this. But when it comes to multiple streams of income, you being where you are now, would you suggest that someone comes into business and just starts a bunch of things at one time? Or would you suggest that a person focuses on one thing, takes that to where they need it to be, and then let the money from that start other streams of revenue?
I know for sure you know the answer to that question.
Of course, I do. I do. But a lot of other people, they have no clue, because I was confused when I started. But what would you say about that?
Absolutely. We're just going to do one thing at a time. You
Mm-hmm.
are one person. Don't overwhelm yourself. Like if you got 100% into one thing instead of 20% into 5 things.
Right.
Which one do you think will do better? At
Mm-hmm.
least, faster, right? Fast money is fun.
Mm-hmm.
So invest the 100% into the one thing. And everybody always trying to find something that they want, that they like. Your passion a lot of times don't even make you money. Just do what you need to do to get to the money. And then you can use that money to follow your dreams and follow your passion. But the first things first is getting to the money. So that's going to be being an expert at one thing. Just
Mm-hmm.
one thing. That's all you got to do. And it don't take much to be an expert. They say if you read 5 books on one subject, you are an expert in that subject.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Just 5 books on one subject. Consider yourself an expert. So be an expert in your one thing. Learn that one thing. You know, nobody ain't gonna be able to tell you nothing about that one thing.
Right.
And there you go. You can make all kind of money. Sell
Wow.
water to a fish.
Well, V, hey, this was incredible. I appreciate your time. I definitely don't want to waste another second of your time. Would you like to say any last things to the community, the kind of motivation, inspiration, or any tips or anything?
I would say you said something, Clue, you have to make the decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, it's about the decision. Are you happy where you are? Don't worry about what you got, how much you're working with. None of that really matters. Just do what you can do with what you have right now in this moment. And, just positivity from there. It's up from there. So I would say, yeah, make the decision. If you want something different, you got to do something different. Otherwise, you're going to be in the same position year in and year out.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are still in the same position this year that they was in last year. That time going to pass either way. So just make the decision.
Hey, well, hey, I've learned. I hope y'all learned because, V Doctor gave a lot of tips, a lot of gems, and I will actually have the link to her products in the description. Her products are for ladies. So, ladies, if you want information on what the V Doctor actually goes out and promotes and sells, go ahead. I'll have the link in the description. And, V Doctor, again, I appreciate your time. And, like, share, subscribe. We'll see you on the next video. Have a great, great day.